Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I hope you're all well. I seriously do hope you're all well. This is episode 14. Episode 14. UK Outpost 31. The film review. You know why you're here. You know what this is. And you know who I am. I'm your host, Mr. Dan Nostalgia. Welcome back. And today's film is Bachelor Party, released on June 29th, 1984, directed by Neil Israel. The story is written by Neil Israel, and Pat Proft, starring Tom Hanks, Adrian Zmed, William Tepper, and Tony Kitian. Cinematography, Hal Trussell. Music by Robert Folk. Distributed by 20th Century Fox. Box office $38.4 million US from a $7 million US budget. The plot: a party animal leaving a crazy life behind him. As he's about to become a married man, Rick's friends decide to throw him a huge send-off with a bachelor party to remember in this Neil Israel raunchy comedy. He's about to inherit a father-in-law, hates his guts, despises everything about him. The party they throw for him soon turns wild and becomes an over-the-top celebration within their hotel room, of course. Sex, drugs, craziness and wild times commence, fueled in chaos. One of the characters for this is the competitive blonde, Cole, as the film's antagonist. The characteristics seen in your 1980s comedy villains often seen as pampered, wearing sweaters around their necks, tied short, bathed in their parents' money, drive fast cars. It's often seen as the bad guy. You know, anybody you're an asshole in room service. Each character having a different level of craziness and balanced personality. Brad, then Rudy, being probably the most craziest members of the group, and then down to Rick, probably on the opposite side of the spectrum. This film being inspired by true events. But what happened at this party that they didn't show you on screen? LOL, you know what I mean? Must have been one hell of a party. I mean, I've had some party times myself, but I want to know what happened on this occasion. All coming off an event surrounding the film Police Academy in 1984. So, it'll be an interesting one if they ever get a full documentary or explanation into that. That'd be interesting, but I would like to see that. Just previously touched on the concept came from true events. A party thrown by Ron Moeller and Israel, along with the cast and crew, were amongst the guests, and the plan was already taking shape itself, more or less, just as the alcohol's been consumed and the genius level is just increasing. There you go. All you gotta do is get to your next day and put pen to paper. And there you go. A straight to DVD sequel carrying the same name, Bachelor Party, but with The Last Temptation, which I haven't seen. I didn't really know about this until I dug into the research, and I've never really seen a sense for a sequel involving the real characters. It's pointless, you know what I mean? Because you know what happened at the end, near enough. You know, Rick got married, and somewhere a red one was married, and the rest were just crazy. It was going to be a crazy life on there. The Biltmore Hotel, mainly used for the second act onwards in Los Angeles, California. The location being used for films such as Splash, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Dave, True Lies, Independence Day, Fabulous Baker Boys, Ocean's 11, and In the Line of Fire, just to name a few. This hotel has practically had some big films made on their grounds. Big films. Monique Gabrielle, being a dancer accompanying the donkey, definitely had this given the ingredients, and definitely had the flavouring for the Hangover trilogy that they would feed off, or A Weekend for Charlie and Alan Harper. You know what I mean? If you're two and a half men fan. And but there's the crazy one. Comedian Paul Reiser and Top Gun's Kelly McGillis were considered for the roles. The pair lacked chemistry, and there was rumour of Kelly was sacked from the project. I mean, sacked as in fired, as in other parts around the world. Sacked is a UK meaning. Generally, the director wanted Ted McGinley for the role of Riku, but during this time, another comedy classic, or nostalgia, should we say, was being filmed, and that was Revenge of the Nerds, another underrated film. Yeah, another comedic film, at the same time brilliant. Provocative notion number 1. How did Rick and Harold get along after the wedding? Sure, he held on to that grudge. Alright, of course he's going to. And having to deal with his daughter's marriage to Rick wasn't an easy pill to swallow. So I can imagine your Christmas, your Easter events and birthdays, New Year's and so forth. Some fun times for the Gaskells. That'd have been a good sequel. Almost like National Lampoon, almost. You could have blended it with and come up with something like that. Brought the gang back for the last time, Rudy and Brad. Interesting. Then, provocative notion numero 2. Did Brad get help for his marriage issues? Was it resolved? Seriously, folks, it's not like a joking matter now. Did his friends intervene to get him back on track? If none of the two or three, then what did become of him? Because he was walking a dark path, and I think the comedy was trying to mask that character's pain. Just my opinion, but it'd be interesting to see what would have come of Brad's character. Would he have turned his life around? The American Ninja himself, Michael Dudikoff, appearing and showing his comedic side instead of fighting an assailant of ninjas with a katana. You know, with Steve Jackson? I can't remember, the black guy with him. The American Ninja. Jackson, I saw it. But anyway, that's what made me remember him from. But then watching a Bachelor party showed he got a different side to him. And I think that if he'd done more of that, it could have got away from that stereotype martial art. It's 80s action thrillers. Adrian Zmed from TJ Hooker. Getting crazy, as he is usually known for his role alongside William Shatner in and obviously Trekkies would be well aware of this. I grew up watching TJ Hooker and Chips and all the other great shows like Dempsey and Makepeace and Dukes of Hazzard, all the great car shows, cop shows and so forth. Hill Street Blues, Late at Night. Yeah, that was back in the day. The Hangover franchise having elements of this with other styled comedies like National Lampoon. I mean, this was sort of borrowed, a real life event, but you could see the film had there was a shared continuity somewhere. A mixed bag of reviews, receiving a score of 54% on Rotten Tomatoes, but others reviewing the film greatly on the film, and others giving the film a rating or stating a review of gratuitous and vulgarness, which is, listen, falls on your side of the fence, doesn't fall on your side of the fence. It's just the way it is. So today it probably might meet a cancel culture somewhere, and someone's going to shut it down or dilute it. If it was ever made today, that's how it would go. The television show was inspired by the film and was rumoured to be in production back in 2014. News has been quiet, especially now it's under Disney banner. And again, with the cancel culture and so forth, and how the world is, would the world have appreciated the work of Neil Israel today? We don't know. I still appreciate the work. Other sex-themed or referenced comedies, like I said, National Lampoon and Porky's trilogy and Revenge of the Nerds, all being released before or after Bachelor Party, and all having a slightly darker humour than the average light PG comedy during that time. I mean, you had Police Academy, which got a bit of raunchiness, but it was diluted and toned down. As with some of the other films I've mentioned, they've sort of pushed the envelope, and at the time you could. And this was everything to do with race, gender, yeah, whatever you were into. This, more or less, they just hyped the comedy up and really jumped on the bandwagon and things. So you grew up in that decade, you couldn't afford to be sensitive. It wouldn't have made you sensitive. Overall review on this: certain comedies don't hold back on sexual or drug-themed content or so forth, and Bachelor Party is no different. An unfiltered comedy celebration with chicks, guns and fire trucks, as Rudy would say. This film doesn't let up for it on the comedy throughout, every moment giving each character the baton to carry on with the toilet humour. Everyone is sort of in on it. This was one of those films the first time I found this hilarious on the first watch. It was a BBC late night television, and this still gets laughs a day. And I could watch the film now, put the film on now, and still enjoy it as if it was back the first time for me. Yeah, let's be truthful. Yeah, it's off colour for some, and others it caters for. It really does. It's a 50-50, you like it or you don't. It's like Marmite. You know, it's only way I can sum it up for you. And for, like I said, especially for people with toilet humour, who would like stand up and raw comedy. I mean, I love like Richard Pryor, Eddie Griffin, Eddie Murphy. These sort of people, you know what I mean? Where the humour is, let them have it. It's good, funny, tell the joke. It's not always quite on the mark, though, at times. Not always quite on the mark, like TJ Laser, in terms of concept, outside from the party scenes that mainly take place at Act 2 and 3. But the basic and general story is there for the basis of the foundation of having your party. Obviously, the marriage scenes are a little slowed down for humour, different types of humour. Tom Hanks, you could see that he's having fun with his role. He's got great comedic timing anyway. Everyone says this about him when he does his comedies. That it's a change for the actor after so many after the last failed attempt to get with the cast. And this one fell in Hanks's favour nicely because he got to be crazy. He was allowed to enjoy a party and get paid, which is beautiful. Honestly, it is. When you're enjoying yourself and you're getting paid, what can you say? Worth a watch. Definitely scenes in this film will have you laughing. You could be the most straight-faced person in the room. You watch Bachelor Party, you're gonna laugh at something. It's my honest review for that. I'm gonna give this a rating of 3.5 out of 5. And still stick with that and hold that. So, I'm going to get into my last segment of the day. Yeah, you know what I mean? What have you been watching? You need to start telling me what you've been watching, guys. I would honestly love to sit down and you can tell me some of these things. I want to read through some of your reviews. What have you been watching? Because porn is just, that's just down to you. That's your choice, okay? I'm just stating that on the general level. Well, let me get into my segment anyway. We did have a action movie weekend, even though it was the King's coronation. Obviously everyone's got your opinions on that. I'm not talking about that. I had an action movie weekend, folks. Die Hard, yeah. Lethal Weapon, yeah. Commando, yeah. Cobra, yeah. It's like watching expendable sequels, prequels I mean, and great stuff, plenty of bangs and explosions, so that one worked well. And this is the way. Of course, it was the 4th of May, Star Wars Day, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, double feature. That was definitely on the bill. Followed by a few more sci-fi films, of course, like I did watch Aliens, and I get that in. It was just too good to miss. And it was good night there. Brilliant. So, everything's been great here, and I hope things are great with you. Please interact with me, folks. Please like. Please subscribe. Please get notified for further content that I am releasing. It's been great spending time with you, and I hope your week goes well, folks. Please follow me, and I want to follow you. So please join me for my next episode of UK Outpost 31. I'm Dan Nostalgia, and this is UK Outpost 31.